Hello class, happy Friday. The topic that I would like to discuss in this video is how has the great man theory of leadership been disproven? To sum this theory up, it says that the great leaders are born and not made. As you guys know, this theory has been disproven, but I would like to inform you guys as to why this theory has been disproven. I will be discussing some of the background of the great man theory to have you guys understand when and how this theory of leadership came about. In the 1840s, this leadership theory gained a lot of popularity, although the idea that great leaders are born, not made, has been around for centuries. As one historian named Thomas Carlyle said, the history of the world is but the biography of great men. Carlyle also believes that effective leaders are those gifted with divine inspiration and the right characteristics. It is hard to argue with Carlyle's statement, but who says that a person cannot gain these traits? The great man theory also was based on research from a couple centuries ago that looked at some of the most powerful leaders in the world dating back to Julius Caesar and Alexander the Great. If we only looked at these types of leaders, we would not get the correct connotation of what a leader is. They focus mainly on aristocratic rulers who attained these positions through birthright. Because of this reason, people of lower social statuses were believed to have less chance to achieve leadership opportunities. In this time and age where the idea was developed, it seems as though the great man theory was correct. But now, with many opportunities for leadership, we know it has been disproven. Now I will be discussing more about why we know that leadership abilities are acquirable to further disprove the great man theory. A sociologist by the name of Herbert Spencer suggested that leaders were products of the society in which they lived. Herbert Spencer also wrote that you must admit that the genesis of a great man depends on a long series of complex influences, and that before he can remake his society must make him. Spencer basically is saying that leaders do not have to be given birthrights to a position to be a leader. Life influences and who he surrounds himself with will develop a person to be a leader. When I was digging deeper into the great man theory, an argument that is found is that if leadership was simply an inborn quality, then all people who possess the necessary traits would eventually find themselves in leadership roles. Research has instead found that leadership has many components to it that influence how successful a particular leader may or may not be. Characteristics of the group, the leader in power, and the situation that the leader is in all interact to determine what type of leadership is needed and the effectiveness of leadership. No one type of leader can fit into every situation, which the great man theory would disagree with. The last reason that I will discuss as to why the great man theory has been disproven is because this theory solely focuses on one gender. Almost all the leaders at the time that this theory was made were men. If someone were to think of a great woman in the 1840s, it would be in another area, not in leadership. Along with the leaders being almost all men, so were the researchers at the time of this theory. This would almost certainly lead to bias. As we see now, women are having great chances in leadership roles. GM has appointed the first woman CEO in the automobile industry, and Carly Fiorina was given the CEO position of HP in the 1990s, which never would have happened back in the time this theory was developed. In the time that this theory was started, it would seem logical to believe that the great man theory could be true. But as times have changed and opportunities for everyone to gain positions in leadership have been started, we can see that no one set of leadership traits fit in every situation. My question to the class to start a discussion is, can you guys think of any real-life situation in this day and age where someone could fit the great man theory and attempt to prove the theory correct? Thank you for your attention to my presentation, and I appreciate your feedback.